coming in hot. Coming in. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey, yeah. I'm coming in.
Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. I kept it too real. I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline. Your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag. Your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot, feeling like Pac. Back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave. Ditch my top and I'm off that lot. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. You don't have to ball a rap to get them racks on racks. Uber poolers trying to catch my vibe and find my way. Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really safe. Hot sauce dripping. Everybody wanna start dipping. First nobody wanna listen. Now everybody pay attention. Now everybody pay fees. Even Trump gotta take a knee. When the horn blow, y'all gon' see. Make the wall fall down like I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot the shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot, coming in hot. Shoot that shot, shoot that shot. Shoot, why not? Hey, why not? Ain't no big, ain't no big. Feel like Pac, feel like Pac. We can't lose, we can't stop, we can't stop. Yeah, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? We still alive. Hey, why not? No big, watch out. I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Just like the fajita. Like the fajita. I write what I live. Write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow. Nice with the. Just like the demeanor. Like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect him. I made the call it, but just like I'm reffing. I know we left, yeah, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife gon' have some kids. Right now, we just practicing. Practicing. Teacher said, quit rapping, man. That gon' hurt my average. I said, thank God I ain't average. Yeah, I'm a bright young man. Kill the GPA, and the BPM. Look, we on. So say what you say, cause that's A with Lecrae. From the A train to the A, I'm coming in hot. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey, yeah. I'm coming in. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. I kept it too real. I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline. Your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag. Your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot, feeling like Pac. Back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave. Ditch my top and I'm off that lot. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. You don't have to ball a rap to get them racks on racks. Uber poolers trying to catch my vibe and find my way. Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really safe. Hot sauce dripping. Everybody wanna start dipping. First nobody wanna listen. Now everybody pay attention. Now everybody pay fees. Even Trump gotta take a knee. When the horn blow, y'all gon' see. Make the wall fall down like I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot the shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot, coming in hot. Shoot that shot, shoot that shot. Shoot, why not? Hey, why not? Ain't no big, ain't no big. Feel like Pac, feel like Pac. We can't lose, we can't stop, we can't stop. Yeah, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Coming in hot. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? We still alive. Hey, why not? No big, watch out. I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam, I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect him. I made the call it, but just like I'm reffing. I know we left, yeah, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife gonna have some kids. Right now we just practicing. Teacher said quit rapping, man. That gonna hurt my average.
All right. Here we go. My Convo 360. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode. Welcome. I am Kenyon Hilly, your host here at My Convo. I have my boys with me, my co-host, my main man Eric, and my main Leon Martin. Say what's up, fellas.
What up?
What it do?
Well, we are back, fellas. We had an amazing time on Monday. We had some great feedback, and I think that the audience really enjoyed it. And we're going to jump right back in on today's show talking about Do All Men Cheat Part 2. So let's just jump right into it. I know last week we covered a lot of ground. I don't know about you guys, but my wife and I, we talked about the show, and she really enjoyed it. And it really just sparked some amazing conversations with her and I, just even as it relates to the content that was taking place on that last show, as it relates to relationships, as it relates to how we view each other and all those things. And so I think it's an amazing topic. I think that it can foster great conversation to find out, we're all married. Is your wife pleased? Are you pleased? Did you guys have any kind of conversations like that? Or did y'all kind of keep it, more surface? Or how did y'all a couple days go?
For me, excitement for the opportunity just to talk about things in the open and basically clear the air, you know what I'm saying, and get to know the truth and get these answers to questions that we never feel comfortable enough to ask, right? Or we don't feel like we have an outlet to ask. Right. As far as how she felt, it was like nothing was a surprise because she knows me pretty well, you know what I'm saying? And so she was excited, I'm excited, and we're just pushing forward with it, really.
For sure.
Yeah.
Got good feedback from it. The conversations have always been open on, as far as what you want, what you like. So she pretty much knew most of everything we was talking about for the most part. But I just really needed feedback on the content per se, and she gave me good feedback on it and what I could do better and what we could. Some more things we can talk about.
Right, and it gets juicy real quick. So let's jump in. I got some good content that we want to cover on today's show. And don't forget, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at My Convo 360. We really want to get those subscribers up. Even as you guys are watching on live right now, please make sure that you're engaging. We're actually going to add our comment section to where you can actually ask questions on the comment section. That's live. So you guys can ask questions, and we'll try to chime in on those or statements that you may want to kind of get across. And so that's active now. But please make sure you're liking, loving all those things, because that helps the stats as it relates to how the show is distributed, and that algorithm, it picks up as far as the engagement. So please stay engaged with us, comment, like, love. Even if you don't like it, hit the mad one. That's cool too. But just make sure you're engaged. We appreciate it. But again, go to our YouTube channel at My Convo 360 because we really want to get that one live as well. So we have to get our subscribers up. So help us out on this show. Spread the word. Go to that YouTube channel and to subscribe. So let's jump into it.
Sir.
So we're talking about men cheating, and we know women cheat too. And one of the thoughts I had just during the week, and I wanted to bring it to the table, was many times when we have our significant other, we're dating somebody, married to somebody, many times I think that the spouse, the partner, the person that you're kind of close with, they treat you as though you're supposed to be there. And so I want to get you guys' thoughts as it relates to, do you think sometimes during the chase of getting the relationship, acquiring the relationship, there is a pursuit of a type that does not translate consistently to where now it's not like I'm treating you like I want you there, but it's almost like we're here because we have to be here?
That's a great question. To start with, I've been married for a long time. 13 years in the game. We vets out here. I throw that around a lot because it's not automatic. A lot of people just, don't have that longevity. But yeah, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to wake up to your obligations and basically just have a life that you guys have been pouring out towards. You're raising kids and you're doing whatever. And the assumption is that because we're doing this and we entered into marriage, it's automatic. And it just, no maintenance necessary. We're just day after day. I used to hear this all the time from my wife. She used to say, I need something to look forward to. But my response to that was like, a man grinds. I'm grinding out here. I'm going to battle every day, going to work, doing my obligations. I need you to do the same thing. And I think we, as men, like, I know I get programmed in that mind of thinking to just put my nose to the grindstone and grind.
I think something you just said I think is crazy is that, I do believe men go out to the grind because it's an obligation.
Absolutely.
I think the crazy part that you kind of snuck in there, act like, as if it wasn't a bar or something, is he said you wake up to your obligation. But then the crazy part is we neglect the greatest obligation we wake up to.
Right.
And so we leave because we're like men, we're providers. So it's I want to provide. I got to make sure that obligation is met. But then how does that translate to making sure I'm fulfilling my wife, because that's also an obligation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts about the original question though?
Well, I mean, it's gonna probably encompass both, but I mean, I think you get lost in the translation. Like when you're dating them and putting your best foot forward and showing them who you are, you dressed up nice, smell good, doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. And when you get into the relationship or when you get married, then you think like, well, I got her now, so
you trapped.
Yeah. You kind of slack off. You know what I'm saying? Well, most of the time, cats will slack off.
Yeah.
But I think the part we don't think about is that you have to make a conscious effort to keep that going, though.
Yeah. And that's the male and the female.
Right, because like he said, you're grinding, you're working, and you come home, you beat down, but then throughout the day, you're not thinking about, what, she like that little text, let me hit her with that real quick. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now it's like you got to start thinking about the other thing, like, okay, I got to make sure I'm filling her love tank per se,
Because if you don't feel it, somebody else is going to.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
So, but I get it how you can slip on it, though.
Yeah,
because I did it. Like, I slipped for a few, I think it was maybe 3-4 days, and it was like you get home like, I didn't get the text, like, what's going on, like, da-da-da. I was like, dang. In my head, I'm like, it's 4 days.
Yeah.
But, but I'm saying, like, but it is.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
That's us,
Absolutely,
though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it ain't that deep. You tripping because I do it all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, keep doing it all the time,
No,
then.
I get it. So let me ask this. I think that many times that we get in relationships, significant other, marriage, et cetera, to where we think that now that I'm in it, I'm safe. That now that I'm with you, there is no other hunters out there. That because we agreed that there's going to be this kind of relationship, all the hunters stop because you got that woman, or all the hunters stop because you got that man. So
that's not true.
I don't believe it, but I think that's what happens very often. And I think even as it relates to people cheating, et cetera, is because I think we assume no one's hunting the one you have.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like a shock, like, oh, how could that happen to me? Because you saw something in her.
Yeah.
She saw something in you.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think it's just that once we have acquired the relationship that we no longer need to hunt?
No, I don't think it's that. I mean, we always need to hunt, but that's what I'm saying. You have to remind yourself. I'm not going to act like I don't have to remind myself, though. No, you have to remind yourself, like, okay, I wanted her.
Yeah.
So just because I got her don't mean nobody else ain't going to try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to make sure she's good at home, so then I'm not leaving no room for somebody to get in.
Just slide in.
Yeah.
But I feel like the reason why men are the way they are is we need that 9 to 5. We like that structure. This is why men make good soldiers, I think, because we just know how to put that hard hat on, go to work, and just make everything normal. You can normalize warfare, in a man's mind.
Right.
But we get tired of. Okay, so I think part of it's a two-way street, okay? And this is my thing. I think that sometimes we don't hear what we need to as well. So let's say for the soldiers, we're talking about going to work 9 to 5, you doing your thing. We don't always get that pat on the back that we need as well. So I think it's a two-way street as far as input. yes, you can get your wife can get bagged for sure.
Right.
But that coworker that wears the little dresses at work, she might have your attention too because she might be showing some interest or showing values that you're valuable the way she speaks to you. So
Right. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that relationally speaking, I think if people moved in a way, and this is going to be very specific, if you move in a way to where you know somebody out there wants to have sex with your partner, how would you move? If you wake up every day knowing that somebody want to smash my wife, somebody out here is willing to do whatever it takes to take what's mine.
Right.
Somebody's willing to do whatever it takes to take that husband from that wife or from that significant other. And I think that when you move in a way in which you realize that what you've acquired is now this is the thing. It's not that you expect them to cheat.
right.
But you have to know in your mind, it's always a possibility.
Oh, for sure.
Because if it's a possibility, wouldn't you think we'll move different? I think we lie to ourselves and say, because you with me, it ain't possible no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, there are lions out here that if they see a lone lioness, they mountain.
Right.
And I think it goes vice versa. So I think that if we move in a way to where you bagged that woman, she bagged you, but now you are literally living to the fulfillment of that other person. Like, for example, I was telling my homie yesterday at the gym. I was on the phone with him. I said, bro, after having this conversation on Monday, I said, one of the things that came to my mind was this. One day we gonna die. If you're a Christian, that you believe you're going to heaven, right? If you're a Christian. I said, what if we woke up as men, married men in this context, and said, it's my responsibility to love this woman at the level, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, to where she gets to experience a piece of heaven while on earth.
Come on now.
So that way, when she does pass away, the transition gap ain't that big. We out here.
You way out there.
But that's what I'm saying though. If that's the case,
Right.
can't no lion come get yours.
No,
Right.
no.
Can't no lion come get yours.
No.
If your woman is walking around feeling like she in heaven, what's higher than heaven?
Nothing.
I'm just saying it's just a thought to consider.
I mean, but that's true. Like if you're hitting if you're knocking it out of park in every area, I mean, what are you really looking for at this point? I mean, even for yourself as being a man, if my wife is knocking it out in every point, I'm not looking for anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're constantly trying to become that thing she desires, like you said, like having that conversation about what do you like?
Yeah, what is that craving?
Yeah, it's like, so if I'm becoming everything she's like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, nobody can come in.
My wife asked me, man, my wife is dope. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I know y'all wives, and y'all got great wives. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to lie. Mine is dope.
Yeah.
We're at the gym. I'm at the gym. She was working, but we're on the phone. And I realized I was like, this woman satisfies me. Right? She sent me this text. Right? Welcome to my Combo 360, ladies and gentlemen. She sent me this text and was like, listen, I'm going to go and buy costumes for you. I need you to give me a list. Wait, though. Of everything you want me to become to please you. Bro, I almost just punched everybody in the gym and said, your wife ain't bad as mine. Right? But I mean, I'm like, that was left field, though. I'm like, who out here rolling like that?
Right.
But that's a lioness, though, making sure, mind you, ain't like there's some woman right there. I'm saying, but she's marking that territory.
Oh, she's making sure there's nobody coming
You see
in
what I'm
to get
saying?
this.
But I think that's what you were referencing in the fact that I'm going to make sure I wake up and run this mug down.
Man.
And you actively running this mug down. And I think many times we get comfortable, and this is, I want you guys' thoughts about this. Many times a man or a woman, they can feel like, we could feel if we're angry, going through a hard time or whatever, as though that person we're with is not worthy of our love. Because one thing we do, we pretend that you ain't going through stuff in marriage.
Right.
There aren't ups and downs, etc. Right? But here's a thought. What happens when you're in that rough spot and we feel, I'm not saying it's true, but I'm saying you feel because you're going through a little hell right now, you're not worthy of that affection. You're not worthy of them words of encouragement, and, admonishment, etc. Right? Watch this. What prevents somebody else from coming and proving us wrong?
Nothing at all. And it don't take anything either. So what I mean by that little gap between I'm committed or I'm hunting or being willing to be hunted is real small. Like the introduction to the idea that I'm a cheat can be in a wink. Or somebody who delivered the waterman who delivered the sparklets today. Right?
He dropping off more than water out here. He's dropping it off.
So the thing is, man, we got to keep our game tight. This is why you can't go to bed with anger in your heart toward your spouse.
Right.
Those little things, those little air gaps that maybe you got into that argument on the way to work and you left it like that. Right?
Yeah.
Now the water dude comes around and it might be tempting. You never know. This might be the 10th day in a row that your day is gone like
the
that.
The very thing she needed in that very moment.
Bam. And in a moment of weakness, that delivery dude is tasty.
Man.
Actual temptation. But women are driven by being satisfied. Listen, if you're doing your job, what you're getting to is when you're doing your job as a man, they're not looking. So when they are, it's because you're not doing your job.
And even if they see, it doesn't mean they're seeking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think like people have this misconception that once you get married, you go blind.
No.
Men hope that.
No,
we're hoping that.
Thing in the world. Like, no.
Right.
No, like you thought she was bad. Somebody else don't think she bad.
Right.
You thought he was fine. Somebody's gonna think he's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think sometimes people get into this place of, like you said, I got him now, so they ain't going nowhere. I'm like, that's stupid. Because, think for yourself. Okay, you married somebody that did all these things for you, right? Yeah. Let's keep it 100. They were a certain person. They were a certain type of way. They did certain type of things. You said, man, I want to keep this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So now you get into it and they stop. For real?
Yeah.
Let's not play that game. Like, you stop.
Yeah.
You're not giving me everything that you gave me in the beginning. Now you're like, when we was dating before you did this.
Yeah.
That's where those arguments come in at. And then now you're looking up and wondering why your whole relationship is tore down or either one of y'all cheated. It's like you got to keep it. You got to find ways to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Because don't add kids into the mix.
Yeah. Changes the game.
Work, depending on what type of work you do, you travel.
Yep.
You got to find way. It's crazy because I find that, people talk to me a lot. Like, it's crazy. I could meet people randomly and they start spilling their whole life, right? You be looking like, okay.
Share much?
Right.
Share much?
Overshare.
But I know what it is now,
Yeah.
But it's like, especially when you're talking to women sometime and then they get to talking, then they're talking about their spouse.
Yep. Yeah.
I know they dry.
It's a leaking faucet.
I said,
Yeah.
man, if she don't get it together, somebody gonna come along and bag her.
There's an idea I had. Let me see what you guys think about it. I think, I'm going to give you an analogy. I think that relationships have to be treated the way that we treat a car that we're test driving. And what I mean by that is this. When you test drive a car, you know it ain't yours. Right? So you're cautious, you're observant, you're careful, you're impressed by the vehicle, right? Even so much so to where you're discovering new things about the car as you drive it, and you know that you're liable. So you're going to be very careful about that, right?
Yep.
I think that's how we start relationships, as though it's a test vehicle. But then once we're committed in a relationship, we treat it as if it's like a 30-year-old used Honda Accord.
Yep. Too many miles.
So the question becomes, why do we treat it so good, and women pour into men and dress up and you're looking beautiful, you're smelling good, your body is right, then brothers, you're working hard and all these things. And all of a sudden it was a test vehicle. Hey, no, wipe your shoes off. Then all of a sudden you're throwing cups in the back seat, fries on the floor. And like, what is the issue of us not maintaining in longevity? I think, and I'm gonna, after we talk about this, I'm gonna attach something to it. It's gonna go a lot deeper.
Okay.
Why is it that we don't value things that have high miles?
Because it no longer is special. we like special things. You know what I'm saying? We like things that are new.
The new thing, the
Right.
toy.
And the honeymoon period is something that's all too cliche. Right. We love that introductory period. This is why Spotify and all these companies, they give you 30 days trial.
Yep.
Because they know if you put your credit card number in now, we got you on the back end.
Yeah.
A lot of women also change up. People switch up on who they actually are after marriage.
So sometimes the features you were promised
Right.
are not what you get when you sign. Ah!
Yeah.
But think about that. How many times do you talk to somebody and you go in believing you know what you signing up for? And then only to sign and realize you're in at least a 5-6 year agreement where it can jack your credit up if you don't pay this bill.
Jack your life up.
Yeah. So it's almost like I'm going to bring the actor. And then once we have a long-term, once this commitment is signed, this is what you really signed up for.
Hey,
but why do we do that, though?
Hey, but look, real quick, you know how, before, like, you could go buy a car and then it could be a lemon and then you stuck?
Yep.
But now they got the no lemon law.
The lemon law.
You think we need to have those in marriage?
It's called the prenup. It's called the prenup.
The lemon law for relationships.
Yeah.
You're not who you said you were, so that you must take this back.
You broke it. You gotta. You broke.
The lemon law.
Hey, look, you're not running the same as what I
Oh,
got.
God.
Hey, I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm not. That's good. Oh, so let me ask this.
Hey, but if it was one, you think people would act different?
Absolutely.
I think that's where prenups came in.
Yeah.
Because they say, I can't trust that you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
And I don't want you taking everything from me if it doesn't work out.
Right.
But let me ask this. I think that many times when it comes to relationships, we run miles on our body.
Right.
Before the serious relationship, sleep with 15, 20 women, 30, 40 dudes, 50 women, 100 dudes. Then all of a sudden we want to act like our stuff is special. So my question becomes, if we don't like all the mileage on old cars and we want to get a newer car, the nicer thing,
Here you go.
then how is it that we get into these relationships and we have these high, lofty expectations, but your whole package has been community property?
I'm gonna just let that breathe. So the idea of keeping something new, there are men out there, and there should be more men out there like this that love classic cars, right?
Right.
And the thing about it too, like if we treated our women like wine and treated them as though they're getting better with age as opposed to getting worse.
Yeah.
This is why guys who remarry, they usually get married to younger people because it's like, I don't have to watch you age.
Dang.
Right. I don't have to watch the aging process, the sagging and all that. And the sad thing is that usually it comes after we put babies in them.
Children, exactly.
And bodies have changed now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now I don't want you.
I think your wine analogy is gangster because of this reason. They ferment it. They let it sit. The older, it gets better over time.
Right.
But the premise is that it has everything it needs to get better already in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think many times, relationally speaking, we want people to become something they don't have ingredients for.
Right. Yeah, I
So
agree.
we out here just picking. We don't want to be lonely,
Right.
baby mama, baby daddy, whatever it might be. So I don't want to be lonely or whatever the case may be. But my bar is so high that I'm trying to pick wines I'm not qualified for. So I pass up every bottle that come to me, that Moet, whatever it's called. You pass up all those
Right.
because you want that top shelf.
Right.
But you ain't got the ingredients to afford that top shelf. So I think, I don't know what y'all think. I think many people don't find a great person, or they pick something, or they're searching for something that's out of their league in a sense of ingredients they find in themselves that complements what they claim they want.
Right. Oof.
Yeah.
And that could be and that could be a downgrade.
Yes.
This is why you see
Yes.
a lot of dudes cheat and they find themselves with a woman that looks nothing like their spouse
Nothing
and
like
looks like a downgrade on the exterior.
Right.
And even personality wise are a downgrade from what they have at home.
Yes.
Right.
You
Yeah.
default down to what your desire allows for.
Yes.
Like that's deep.
I mean, but that's based off of hurt. You know, different things because women do it too. You know,
Yeah.
they date a certain type of man, get hurt, and they say they don't want that look anymore, go to a different look.
Yeah.
But it's not really what they crave or their appetites for. But at the same time, they find comfort in it because of the attributes they bring, not the pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's a thought. We come to the relationship used.
Yes.
Most people come used.
A lot of people, yeah.
Most people come and they've given everything up.
Yeah.
The woman's giving up her vagina, giving up her booty, giving up her breasts, giving up her lips, everything about her. The man did the same thing.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, we get in a relationship, and the question becomes, what of value did we reserve
For each other.
for each other? So let me reword it this way. What makes us special that no other person can say they've had? See, I think this is where our culture is killing us, male and female.
Right.
Is that we are told just wear a condom, just take birth control.
Right.
So the whole mama, baby mama, daddy, and then baby daddy type thing.
Right.
We're not told abstinence.
No.
We're told just don't get pregnant,
Yeah.
which pretty much says your stuff ain't special,
Right.
right? But the problem is now that you're in a relationship committed, going long term, you now look across the desk and say, did you save anything for me? What do y'all think about that?
I mean, that's true. I mean, I mean, when you think now, I'm just rolling through in my head thinking about it.
But be 100 about it.
No,
though.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way I can
Yeah.
be. But I was never taught to hold it to be special, though. You
I
get what I'm
see.
saying?
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing played on TV.
Yeah.
Nothing was said. Oh, this is sacred.
Yeah.
Save it for your wife.
Yes.
No, it said go conquer.
Knock them down.
As many as you can.
Yep.
You know-
As fast as you can. And brag about it in the locker room.
Right.
So if that's your culture of what you were raised up in, is what you do.
Yeah.
But when you learn something different, but then I mean the walk down on that is
no joke.
It's no joke.
Ain't no joke.
Because now you're trying to change your whole mindset on even how you view the
pivot,
whole-
how you move.
That was a rough pivot.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And then now this is going to require y'all to dig deep in the bag. And I'm hoping that on my Convo 360, where we keep it raw, uncut, and unfiltered, y'all can handle this. Looking back over your lives, pre-marriage, pre-commitments, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Did y'all have, first is a quick question, then comes the punchline. Did y'all have any body bags left behind? Did y'all take anybody down?
Before marriage? Just before?
Yeah, period.
Before marriage.
Yeah, period.
Absolutely.
Past-wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this. Once you got into a committed relationship, marriage now, was there a hard transition? Or let me ask this question first. Did you ever have an issue or ever have to walk down comparing your wife to the people in your past? Now, I'm talking about sexually.
I say for me, no. And here's why. I shut off that part of my brain that says, see, when I got married, I just said, this is mine, this is my future. And one of the two things I said is I'm not going to look back in the past for what I did in the past. But I also said I'm going to give up pornography. Those are two things I said crossing the threshold of marriage. Ask me how long it lasted, though.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't long. It wasn't long. Because
yeah.
the body bags and all the history I had poured into, all those things, all those habits, those routines, that came back with me. And I didn't have the tools to know how to walk this thing out and not do those things. So it came back very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, when you got married, did the things from the past, did they creep into the present and have any effect?
I would say the only thing that really did enter my mind is the porn stuff. But as far as previous women, no, that stuff I put in the back of my mind, never thought about, really. And that's honest to God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
So for me?
Nah, it didn't. I mean, I'm fresh in the game. I ain't, but it's like I didn't have any, because literally I told myself there's no expectation. And when I say expectation, that means I wasn't going to put my past on my future, which is my wife. Because based off of
Yeah, but
how
I'm asking more specifically, did you guys ever find yourself comparing in your mind?
in my mind, I mean, of course.
It's a simple
I
question.
mean, no, to be 100, of course, stuff will pop in your head. Yeah.
So what did you never experience that? You never had a comparison in your mind ever? It's not like you're saying you've never in your mind ever compared. I think you're lying.
No, because this is the thing. No, it's not that you actually look for the compare.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
It just happens.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
saying, has it ever come up?
Are you talking about the ranking, or are you just talking
Just
about
any. I'm not saying any of it.
Has
I'm
it
saying
ever
like,
popped up?
For me, it has. So I'm saying like without me even trying to do it.
Right.
Right,
No, I
that's
hear
what
you.
I'm
So I'm
saying,
saying like I think there's a lot of people that they have a past, and I think that there's this idea that everything just disappears into the poof in the air.
No, that doesn't happen.
And I think that's dangerous.
Right.
Because then one is never walked down, never talked about, and never taught how to walk down.
Right.
Because if you are married and you have a past of relationships, sexual relationships, and all these things, those things just don't disappear.
They don't.
Right.
Right? So if it's never brought up, never talked about, how does a guy or woman, her past relationships, how does she walk that down if it's a taboo subject?
Right.
So now watch this. Me and my wife, we've talked about it.
Right.
So we've had a conversation of, hey, in the past, like, am I not good enough? And do I measure up?
Right.
So this is an active conversation.
Yeah, I've had
because
those conversations,
I just want to
yeah.
make sure I'm out here putting in the work necessary.
Yeah.
Because the reality is we all have a bar,
Oh, for sure.
right?
yeah.
So if she doesn't have a clue what she's shooting for, I'm setting up for failure.
Right.
True.
So I'm more so asking like, have you ever found yourself having to walk down and say, wait a minute, that was that, this is this. Did you have to massage the conversation? Do you have to instruct to say, this is what I like, what I don't like?
Yeah,
You see what I'm trying to say?
I think
Yeah.
it comes out in the form of what you like, right? I don't think you ever. For me, I don't know if I have the gall to say something like, "Hey, I think about this sometimes in sex," but I think what we end up doing is having a conversation of, "This is what I like." As far as like when that question was asked of you, like, "Hey, what do you want? What do you desire most?"
Yeah.
Right. And it comes in that fashion, and the things that we end up desiring are things that we either witnessed, right, or partook in ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a healthy way of having that conversation is, okay, what do you like?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody knows to an extent what those things are, those cravings, desires. But I think that it's become taboo to ask
Yeah.
because it's interpreted as, oh, you're trying to compare me to my past or bring up my past or whatever.
Right.
You know, now I'm past that. That's left behind me. But the reality is, them body bags are behind you still, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I mean,
are experiences, memories. You see what I'm saying?
You should be able to ask that question though.
Yeah.
What do you like? I mean, but like you said, most people won't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've asked those questions like, what do you like?
Yeah.
What do you want? She's asked me. I don't feel no type of way about it, and she don't either.
I think that's good then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I think that our culture has set it up to where you can just click on Instagram, you can just click on Facebook, you can click on any site you want.
Yeah.
And I think that women are able now to see men in a level, a caliber that makes them and almost vicariously live through the woman they see. Athlete, entertainer, actor, whatever you want to put in that category. And I think many times there's this unrealistic expectation that what I see on TV translates to that person's real life.
Right.
So the regular guy that may be a great guy really isn't enough.
Right.
Because not because they've met the greater guy. It's because they see imagery that says you picked something that was too low.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I believe that's true, but I also believe it's not new. I think this goes back to the romance novels.
Yeah, that's true.
Growing up, I used to see my aunt had a collection of romance novels, right? And then you got soap operas, right? And so Fabio
That's
or
true.
whoever's on your screen, you're being compared. Now the thing is, there's so many different lanes to do the same thing,
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's not just a cliche, man with no shirt on, right? It can be nuanced. It can be a dude who gives counseling and advice or has positive content
Right.
on their IG.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so all the little tastes
Yeah.
are available to them.
Yes.
So yes.
Samples.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
because your wife may be engaging in Instagram and following a guy
Yep.
who subliminally she's attracted to,
Yep.
but she may not even put it out in the atmosphere that she likes him like that.
She enjoying it.
But until you get that argument, though,
Yep.
you have that argument. Now,
Straight back to Instagram.
right? And then that
Come on.
appetite turns into,
Yeah.
now it goes from an Instagram dude to now my coworker who talks like that guy
Yep.
or reminds me of that
Right.
guy or
Yeah.
feels in this appetite.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and eat now.
Yeah, I think that many times, especially with women, at least for me watching on the outside looking in, I think that many times that there's so much time spent on social media, on Instagram, on these apps, and I think many women are just scrolling,
Oh, yeah.
just going, so much so that they're investing their time in Instagram, but they're not investing their time in building and growing themselves.
Right.
So really the greatest deposit is in social media, but this is the key. The greatest deposit is in social media, but they expect the results to be in real time in a relationship without the investment they made in social media.
Right. But my thing is the difference between real life and social media, you don't know if that person is really living that out.
I totally agree.
Right.
So you're bringing something you're not 100% sure about into something you have in front of you you are 100% sure about.
Yeah. To me, it comes down to the whole filter culture.
Yeah.
That you have to perk your lips up. You got to have a certain angle. And then my thing is, why are you perking your lips up to post it? Like who? Like I'm right here with you.
Right.
Right.
So you know, I'm saying if a person's relationship, the question becomes, who are you doing this for?
Right.
Because if I'm in the same house as you, the perk of the lips is for who? I don't need to sit on Instagram. I got it in real life.
The
Right.
interesting thing is now you have this and develop a relationship with a virtual reality. Your wife can actually start cheating on you, not with another man, but with technology.
Right.
And it happens right underneath your nose. This is why the Jackson conversation gets so interesting, because he filled this need in women for years.
That niche market.
That niche and making men or women feel validated by how they felt.
Yeah.
He was giving all this relationship advice.
Yeah.
How many of those men were being compared to by their spouse?
Yep.
Right. This virtual reality that you start to develop with this man who's not even who he says he is.
Not even close.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's casualties all over the place where your wife while you're in bed,
Yeah.
she might be having images of him in her head. No, she doesn't even know what he looks like undressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you walk it down and look at it, you're like, how do you compare? My thing is even men with social media, it's like you scrolling through, you're seeing all these different things. Now you're liking, hearting, sliding in the DMs
Yeah.
because you get a
Doing the
response
most.
back. I mean, because both sides do it.
Yeah.
So now it's like social media is the big thing. I tell people all the time, like, to be honest, I wouldn't really use social media like that if it didn't generate $1.
Yeah.
You know,
You gotta show.
like I have a business, so that's advertisement. Like,
Yeah.
not I'm finna post pictures to get you to like me, to slide in my DM and do all that.
Yeah.
But that's what it's turned into now. People
It
are
has.
dating from Instagram, dating from Facebook. Nothing wrong for that, but not if you married.
Yeah. I think one of the craziest things is that it's so easy to call a man a dog, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a cheating, he's a dog, this and this and this. But the question, I don't never hear this side of it though. Who is he cheating with? Who is he sleeping with? It's almost like, oh, men suck, men are dogs, men cheat. Okay, but if they're cheating, that means some woman is letting him sleep with her.
Right.
So it's almost like, wait a minute, if I'm a dog, then whoever I'm sleeping with should be a dog too.
Right.
Yeah.
But
especially if she knows he's in another
That's what I'm
relationship.
saying. But I'm saying in order for a man to be out here sowing his wild oats, it's because there's that many women willing to give themselves up. Because think of it this way. The woman controls the desire of the man.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care how many women you like, how many you see, unless you rape them, which is horrific.
Right.
She holds all the power to sex.
Yes.
So really the only way that men can be promiscuous is if the woman who has all the power gives us a license to be hoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are women who legitimately have a resentment for the wife you have, and so they come and get yours just to spite them.
Yeah.
I mean, but then is it really the wife, or is it I want what she has? I feel like what
Absolutely.
she has is great, and rather than going to get my own, I'm gonna take yours.
That envy drives the anger, and then next thing you know, that the venom is towards the wife, but I'm gonna take yours and I'm gonna watch it destroy you.
But I'm gonna tell you what though, I think many times that when the man is being beat down, and mind you, if he's cheating, it's just what it is. Then he get whatever's coming to him.
Right.
But I also think the earlier statement rings true. Once I get him, what am I doing on my end to keep him? What deposits? Because watch this. For example, if we ask the woman, and those that are watching live, you guys can chime in the comments. Is if you tell a woman we're going to take away sex, then say, watch this. We're going to take away sex and we're going to take away you being faithful. What do you offer?
Is she helping with the kids?
What I'm saying is it gets down to brass tacks.
Absolutely.
Of
fundamentals.
Yeah, let's take away the sex element. Let's take away the fact that you're not going to cheat on me. Watch this. Many women want a fabulous life.
Yeah.
But are they willing to do what it requires to build that fabulous life? Watch this. Having a vagina does not qualify you for an amazing life because all of your counterparts have the same tools you have.
Right.
So watch this. It's almost like a car. You buy a car, it has a steering wheel.
Yeah.
The men's penis in a woman's vagina is like having a steering wheel. It just comes with the car.
Right.
It ain't something that we're like, oh my God, it's an extra feature. Like
Right.
that's basic
Right.
with the car. But take away the basic things that come with being a man and being a woman. How are we adding true value that says, watch this, this is why you chose me?
I don't think most people look at it that way. I think most of the time people get into it because number one, they test drove the car beforehand and they fell in love with it. So this is the car I want when in actuality, you didn't look at all the features.
Yep.
You hopped in, went fast.
You never read the manual that is going to only give you 8 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't know you bought the boy with the roll down wheel instead of the electric. Like you looking for
Literally.
sunroof.
Yeah.
So it's like now you got it. You're like, dang, I
Yeah.
should have got the upgraded model.
But the cost associated
Was more.
I didn't want to pay that price.
I didn't want to pay that price.
I didn't want to wait that long.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to become somebody else to be able to afford that.
Right.
And that's why I think that's why being promiscuous is so easy.
Right.
Is this? I can go and do something, get your body, have sex with you, but I don't have to read the manual. I don't have to know how you work, how you function, what makes you run well and your upkeep. I don't got to do none of that. No. I can come in, get in your car, drive all day, run all the gas out, hit stuff, mailboxes, drop that mug back up at your house and say, enjoy your husband, enjoy your wife.
Right.
I think we treat relationships like the test drive, feeling like we can just get out at any time.
Anytime.
Even if I say I'm gonna buy it, we treat it like a lease.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's like, you know what? It's transactional. Hey, I'm gonna be in this thing for as long as I feel like the car is worth the drive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the lease runs out in my mind, even though I signed an entire lifetime right, membership, I treat it like a lease.
Yeah.
In the fact that once I no longer desire this thing, I can crash it if I wanted to.
Yep.
And a lot of men do. They start to do the thing to sabotage the relationship.
I'm gonna tell you why men can run. I'm gonna tell you why men can run through women. I'm gonna tell you why. It's real simple. Because she unlocked the door. If she kept the door locked, she can't get ran through.
No.
I think many times a woman unlocks the door because it looks, sound, and smells good.
Most
But
definitely.
the thing is this, many women have sat on the lot for so long empty. The fact that somebody said, I will sit in you was enough to unlock the door. Because I'm tired of being alone.
Yeah.
I don't see value in myself. I'm at the back of the parking lot. And because you came and just touched my handle, I'm going to open up my whole car to you.
Oh, for sure.
But then I ain't even ask you, you want to purchase it?
Right.
I just gave you the keys.
Yeah.
And then I'm angry that you went and parked me.
Right. But they don't know what type of test driver they about to sign up with.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of times
Exactly.
the dudes that come in like that, who are coming in behind closed doors and they're doing this attack from the side. They being crafty to take yours, for example.
Right.
Yep.
Let's say you're in a relationship, somebody sees that a wife is being mistreated, they come in through the back door,
Right.
through that desire that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You enter into a relationship. You leave everything that you once knew for this new cat.
Yep.
Only to find out he's worse than the one that you walked away
There
from.
you go.
Right.
It's almost like having your spouse in the car for 15 years, 10 years, whatever, 20, 30 years. And you don't like the fact that they eat in the car. That bothers you.
Right.
Then the next woman comes up, or the next man, whatever it might be, flip-flop, and you say, you know what? Oh, they don't eat in the car. But what you don't know is that they take their shoes off. They out here putting their feet on the dash. They out here changing and moving your music stations. They out here just messing with the windows, touching the steering wheel, touching the gear shift. But you were so focused on the fact that he or she did the one thing you didn't like, that you're saying, you know what, I'm gonna throw all this away because I can't live with that. Not knowing that the little person that came on that one little ride didn't show you how they really operate in the vehicle.
Right.
Or showed you exactly what you thought you wanted.
There you go.
Like you said, I mean, it's to set it and forget it. Or so here's the trap. The trap is that we get into a relationship, we get bored, or we get locked into a pattern. And let's go fast forward to the guy who comes in, takes over the situation. What the wife does not consider is they're both, the husband and the wife, are a decision away from getting that relationship back in order.
Yes.
Right. So they're always a decision away of saying, you know what, we steered this thing wrong.
Yeah.
We've been going in the wrong direction. Let's clear the air and go back to the original and go back to the honeymoon period.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if they do that,
Yeah.
it saves so much damage and destruction and torn up families and all that. But we're
Absolutely.
so prideful and so hurt sometimes,
Yeah.
we don't consider of actually going to fix our problems.
I think that many times, though, the other side of that is this. They're saying, what am I going back to? See, I think that scenario is great when the person you're going back to, you know, there is a heart that's been softened. There's a heart that want to change. They have seen that I haven't been my best version of myself. But what happens to the brother that has to go back to the wife they know is not going to change? The one that says, I've always been this way. You knew what you were getting when you picked me.
Right.
So now what does that brother do? Because now he's going to be making deposits and he will not get no withdrawals. And so now he has to fight temptation. He has to do all these things. But when you get married, if you fall into the Christian faith category, you're saying that this wife or husband is your only righteous option.
Yeah.
You're saying that this person will be the only person I will ever have sex with, the only person I will ever kiss, I will ever touch. Emotionally faithful. They are literally the gatekeeper to all your natural pleasure on earth until you die.
Yep.
Right? That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Then we're going to say, because you mad at me, you're going to cut me off from the only option I can ever do that's actually holy. So now let's say take it to the extreme where now every time I get mad, I weaponize my vagina toward you.
That's
That's why going back always sounds great. But what is he going back to? What is she going back to? Right?
Right.
I mean, they're going back to, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. Because if no one is willing to change in a relationship, I mean, it's going to stay bad. Like, okay, if I'm saying you saying you want something from your wife. And she just, like she said, or even your husband, they like, well, you know what you got when you got me. I'm not changing. So what you going to do? Now, what do you think the person is going to do? Like, what option are you giving them beyond going somewhere else? Yeah. That's just being 100. I don't care who you are.
And the reason I'm saying this, I think that many times a woman may not count the cost of what that bitterness may cost you. You may not count the cost on what that attitude might cost you.
Right.
You see, so it's easy for me to say, you know what? Yeah, that's something, and this is what I mentioned earlier about the vagina thing. That some idea has come into our mind to say, mine is the only one on earth.
No.
There's nothing special about that.
Right.
So the idea becomes, what am I pouring into this guy? Watch this. Do y'all, be honest, do y'all feel that the average man can say what he actually thinks in truth to the woman he's with without it becoming an issue when what he has to say is unfavorable toward her?
No.
Most men know.
No.
Now, why do y'all believe that?
I mean, I've seen it.
I believe that a lot of times men don't know how to put it in a way that's not weaponizing when they say it.
No, I don't. I disagree with that because think about it. you don't have to weaponize it. It's just you don't like what was said.
Like the
True.
content.
It's
Because
true.
think about anything that has been told to you. I'm just saying for me, you tell me something I don't like about myself, I'm in quick defense mode.
Sure.
This is pre knowing what I know now, right? So I'm giving you who I was.
Yeah.
I'm in like, wait a minute. Oh, hold up a second. Now you attacking me.
Yeah. Right.
So now, okay, you know what? I can't even bring that up. So if I bring that up, it's gonna be a fight.
So now all of a sudden, the things in which I really feel are now trapped away. Why? Because the man no longer feels safe with you. Mm-hmm. So then what happens when somebody comes along that he does feel safe with? See,
you in trouble.
But it's a false safety, though.
What
No,
I'm saying
but
is,
not really.
so sometimes there are women that can come around and you are safe to say anything you want, and they're not judging you.
Right.
And they'll talk to them. They'll walk you through it.
Sure.
Right.
The question becomes why do I feel safe not letting my man feel safe? Pause on that one for a second.
I mean, that's
I feel safe knowing that you're not safe emotionally with me. You can't tell me what you really think because it's going to become something. You're like, you guys, do y'all think that's something that is real?
It is, but it's a self-preservation built on a false sense of self, right? It's this idea that I'm better than I think I am, and I'm in love with the idea of how good I am in my mind towards you, not based in reality. So basically, I'm a better wife in my mind or husband than reality, right? I think I'm better than I really am.
right.
And my whole way of thinking about that is driving the fact that when you say I'm not as good,
Yeah.
I'm going to get upset.
Very
because in
upset.
my
Yeah.
head, I'm a 12
Right.
out of 10.
But
right?
the man's telling you you're a 3.
Right.
Right.
So the question is, okay, have I built up in my relationship a culture of honesty to that point?
Right.
Because I think those things are earned. I don't think you can go from not talking about your
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
You can't even talk about the fact that you didn't get your favorite cereal, or the fact that you intentionally didn't buy the cereal that they wanted.
Right.
Like whatever it is, like you can't even operate in honesty at the smallest level.
Yeah.
And then you turn around
And try to do
Teach,
something
brother.
and
deep.
try to and then try to reach
Yeah.
for a deep bag and tell you how you ain't
Yes.
satisfied
Yeah.
sexually.
So in essence, bars. So in essence, the response of the lady to the man teaches him how to talk, communicate, and share with her.
Absolutely.
If a man does not, and ladies listen up, if a man is not telling you the truth, it's because he doesn't believe he can.
You don't feel safe.
I don't feel safe.
No.
A man that feels safe with you will tell you anything that he believes you can handle. And he determines what you can handle by your previous responses when he tested the waters.
Right.
Right.
Let me give you this thought, and we'll wrap it up in a moment. I think Disney has screwed up a lot of women.
Yeah.
In this sense, Snow White was asleep, right? She got poisoned. She sleep. And the prince had to hunt her down to kiss her to make her come back alive.
Okay.
Right.
Bring it home.
This is the part that I think that most of us are not willing to say. Snow White, as the princess, believed she was worthy of a prince as she does nothing
Right.
to come find her and kiss her.
Right.
In other words, your beauty will find a man.
Yeah, and what happened, I believe, is this. I believe we have a lot of sleeping women that are not deserving of princes.
Uh-oh.
That's tough.
Because in order, what's this key? If you are waiting for the prince to come, you better darn well already be a princess.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to say, I deserve a man like blah, 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 but then you got 4 baby daddies.
Uh-oh.
But he got to have this, he got to have this, he got to have this. But then he has to be the stepdad of 4 different kids of 4 different men.
Right.
And that door swings both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what happens is, I know you want to be Snow White, but you're going to have to wake up. You're going to have to wake up.
Right.
And you're going to have to put some work in
Right.
to become what you actually desire.
Right.
And I don't think people really, really know what it takes to acquire, keep, and satisfy a good man.
Yeah.
Not just a man,
Right.
a good one. Now
Right.
think, I want you guys to comment on this. Do you guys know that the average income of a brother in America is $40,000?
Yes, sir.
40 grand.
All right. Yeah.
If you make $100,000 a year, you're literally in like the top 2 or 3% in America.
Yes.
If you make 150,000, you're like in the top 1%.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if you ask a lady, hey, you know what? Are you okay with being with a brother that makes 40 grand a year? He'll make that the rest of his life. Does that bother you? Most people, they're like, oh, you know what? Hey, I'm willing to build with him, blah, blah, blah. No. That ain't what I asked you.
Right.
The average income for a man in America, lifetime, is 40 grand.
Yeah.
Right.
If you live in California, New York, any of these places, 40 grand don't get you to the gas station and back home.
Bro.
Right?
Yeah,
Which
it's a
means
hard
she
time.
has to grind as well, right?
Right.
The reason I mention that is that the number of men that make good money, the number of men that are in these professions that are above that 40,000, the number of men that are good guys, not cheating, not sleeping around, not abusing you, not cussing you out, treating you well, that's a very small amount of men.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means, how picky can I actually be?
You can't.
But that conversation ain't being had. I'm not saying go pick a trash bag, but what I am saying is that sometimes a woman passes up a good thing because in their mind they deserve a better thing.
Yeah, and for sure. Men do that too. But it's like you got to look at it like this. If you don't, you got to be able to invest into something.
Yes.
So let's say
Build
he
it
does,
together.
Let's say he does make 40,000. To him, that could be, he's doing his thing. He's
Yes,
taking care
he's
of
grinding.
himself. He has his apartment, whatever, however he's living,
Yeah.
right? He has a car, whatever, doing his thing. But in your mind, you should say, okay, all the qualities he has are amazing, right?
Yeah.
You come along, hey, babe, like what you do, like you ever thought about doing this right here? See, it's all about suggestion.
Right.
It ain't about, oh, I'm going to make you, oh, well, he got to have this. Okay, you don't have to have 70, but if you get in his ear right, he could have more than 70. He could become 150.
I think
But
that sometimes
that's investment, though.
It is. I believe that sometimes a woman chooses. They pick, they get what they pick.
Yeah.
And then I think what happens is that they secretly begin to resent what they picked because they see other things that they deem as more valuable and better than what they chose. So now the man that you're with catches all the attitude, the temperament up and down, all the moodiness, all this other, because secretly every time they see the image, Instagram, etc., they're seeing what they did not get.
Right.
There's a lack of overall. There's a lack of contentment
Yes.
in the world,
Yeah.
and I blame society as a whole, really. But what fuels it is our social media apps.
Yeah.
Having all this access, having our just whatever we want to watch, whatever we want to indulge in, we can see.
Right.
So, and contentment all the way around is just bad. Even if you look at body shapes and stuff,
Right.
There's stuff all over the place where I might like the shape of my wife. Then I go and scroll a little bit.
Then they
and I
bodied
see
up.
something crazy that
Yeah.
I never even knew existed.
Yes.
And there's a whole lane of that.
Yeah,
right.
So
absolutely.
contentment is hard in these days.
Yes.
And you got to push towards that.
Yes.
You got to aim to be content.
Right.
Right. Which means that you probably should put that phone down a little
Yeah.
bit more often.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll add something else. It also means the woman that you're with may need to, because this is the thing. When you saw it, it awoke in you or awakened in you a craving that you may not know you had.
Didn't know.
Right.
So now all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, before this, and that's why I mentioned the past relationship thing before.
Right.
I do believe that sometimes a person comes into a relationship with these past memories.
Right.
And they now know what those cravings are.
Right.
And now when you get married or dating or whatever, the significant other, if there's not these actionable steps, a person being deliberate and being what pleases one another, I think it causes it attributes to these wandering eyes, these wandering ears, these extramarital relationships because, hey, you know what, babe? I would like you more like slim, thick, more like fit workout. Well, I hate working out. I don't like working out.
Right.
I don't want to go to the gym.
Right.
But you're communicating, this is what I like though. This is what I'm attracted to. But this is the thing, because what I'm attracted to requires work, You're upset because I'm adding work to your plate, but the work I'm adding to your plate builds us.
Right.
So as men, and I agree with everything you just said, right? What you're saying is basically, and it goes back to your point about the Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Right? Men, I'm going to talk to the men just for a second. As men and as leaders of our household, it is our job to build, if you have that spouse doing all this stuff you were talking about, rejecting the whole idea of actually changing for the better.
Right.
Yeah.
Institute a culture where you demonstrate the love you want to see.
Yeah.
So if I can't come to you as a wife or as a husband and say what I want of you, if I never demonstrated my willingness to give her what she desires.
Yeah.
Right. Even if I'm going overtime, even if I'm doing those 20 hours extra a week or whatever, I still have to go that extra mile for her to see from leadership my ability and willingness to do what I'm asking for first.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You gotta earn that.
Yeah,
you gotta earn that.
You gotta find ways to like you said, if I'm telling her I'm liking something and she's not doing it, most of the time if you're consistent and you're diligent in something and someone's coming along with the ride with you, either they jump on or jump off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you want someone that was fit, okay, I'm just gonna go back. So I wasn't preparing myself for my wife in a sense where I was saying I want to be fit, work out, be healthy, live a long time for her per se. I was doing that for me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I needed someone to say, you need to be healthy, you need to work out.
Yeah.
So that's just who I am, right? But I knew that was a part of building me though, as a man. So it went back to that part you was talking about, what are you doing before he gets there or before she gets there?
Yeah.
Okay, like you said, what about all that baggage I got, them bodies?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I need to go get some counseling because my head toe up.
Yeah.
Right.
6 months.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Shout
So
out to counseling. Shout out to
I had
counseling.
to shout out to counseling. Get it? You need it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I said I had to go get counseling. So it all goes back to preparation for yourself, and then your wife or husband benefits from it. But then if you're doing something, they're like, you know what? Oh, I want to do that. If I got to tell you to do it, I think that becomes a problem for me.
I think that something that's kind of skipped over a lot. There are so many marriages where if you talk to the man or the wife, or either or, you will find that most of them have given up in having conversations of what they want the person to do.
Right.
They will say, at this point, I don't, you know what, it just is what it is. I know who I married. I know what is going on. And I'm talking about 20, 30, 40 years married.
Right.
And they have come to the conclusion that these conversations are meaningless. And I think they have come to the conclusion because they've learned this is going to fall on deaf ears. Right. It's going to be a cold night or a cold week. And this is something I think, ladies, that is important as you listen to this, is this. One of the greatest gifts you can give your husband is the gift of being nice. The gift of being sweet.
Yeah.
The gift of being sensual. The gift of being soft. The gift of not trying to be one of the bros.
Right.
Where you're trying to match testosterone. One of the greatest gifts of the woman that God has given is the ability to be something way more than what we could ever be. Being soft, attentive is something that men love. When you talk to guys, I don't know guys that like to have a debate every conversation with a woman, but they love a woman that when they talk, they're receptive.
Right.
They're calm. That demeanor is inviting. And so I think that many times that a woman can put off something and a man's like, dude, like, I got to hear your mouth again. Like another complaint. Look, this is how you'll hear it. What's the matter now?
Right.
If people being honest, right?
Right.
Man, look. What's the issue at this point? Because that's the dude really saying, you doing too much.
Continual dripping.
Right? Literally, that brother want to go on a roof.
Yep.
So women, ladies, one thing that you can definitely do is you can ask the brother, hey, watch this. Do you feel that I am nice and that I am sweet to you?
Right.
Women ain't asking that question.
No.
Right.
Do you feel like you can just come, talk to me, and the response you get is going to feel like a cloud?
Okay. And when that answer comes, okay, so and then when the answer isn't what you thought,
not.
No.
It's
right?
not.
The question is, what do you do? What does your maturity allow you to do at that moment?
And that is very important.
Right.
Your maturity is going to come out immediately after that question is
Immediately.
answered by the brother,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what that's indicative of is not necessarily just your hurt, because that's probably in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? All the
Yeah.
things he hasn't
The
done
history,
right
the history.
over the course of the relationship.
Absolutely. Right.
But partly it's your maturity in handling the answer.
Absolutely.
And that goes both ways.
It
even
does.
for us when we get those
It sure
questions
does.
answered that we don't.
Absolutely.
Hey, baby, am I putting it down?
Yeah.
Am I putting it
Yeah.
down?
And she said only on Mondays.
And you better, your maturity, fellas,
yeah.
is going to
Yeah.
dictate. Now,
Yeah.
there's biological things going on
Yeah.
sometimes that you ain't really ready.
Yeah.
But that conversation should shift into, okay, how do I get there?
Yes.
Right.
If you're in that biological area timeline where things are affected, then you need to now go out and do something about it.
Yeah,
Your maturity
absolutely.
will
Yeah.
take you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your maturity should tell you you're a student until the day you die.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
sweet. I don't care what you do. You think you sweet at everything. You not.
Yeah.
So
I
my
agree.
thing is this: how can I be better?
There you go.
That's
What
a tough
what
question.
what are practical steps I can take? Watch this, to cause you to know fully and understand that I am over head and heels in love with you.
Right.
What behaviors can I show and do consistently
Right.
that prove that what I'm saying is true?
Right.
And I think that is not a conversation we have, because I have to now be accountable for the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the WORK of that mug. That's the work, but that's the watering of the grass. That's the
Right.
manicuring. And it's the key. It's not just doing it in that conversation. It is doing it every single day until she is satisfied to the level of knowing I don't need anybody else, because the righteous option I've been given literally lives to fill me up.
I got one thing for you. And I love that.
That's true.
Here's the thing. We're going back to the question. We're talking about the question. Perfect point. The context of the question and when that comes matters.
Yeah.
So when I go to ask that question, what can I do better?
Yeah.
If I have secrets, I won't get a real answer.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say my mate, when I asked them the question and they already got that secret relationship formed,
Yeah.
that question is it's not even going to be answered genuinely.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that when you're answering the question, you're not factoring in your secret.
Oof.
You got to let that go.
Yeah.
And then be
Ish.
willing to part with that thing in order to step out into the truth of what a new relationship needs. A new relationship needs honesty, openness, truth.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's
Yeah.
any secrets ever, you're sabotaging the relationship, period. You cannot step
Absolutely.
forward.
Yeah.
Do not think for 1 second you can have any kind of secret
Yeah.
and then have a genuine and thriving relationship.
And you use the word thriving. Think about it. I don't know a woman on earth that would not say they don't want a thriving relationship.
Right.
Then the question becomes, why aren't we thriving? So if I don't know a guy that won't say I don't want a thriving relationship,
Right.
but why aren't we thriving? It's because in order to thrive, the cost associated with thriving, we're not willing to pay.
Right.
We're not even willing to find out what the cost is.
Right.
So we're willing just to go just coast it, and whatever we get is just what we get. Then we complain about what we did not pay for.
Right.
We did not work for. And I think that's one of the danger. I think that's why a lot of times, and we'll close here, there's a lot of times we fall into the danger of relationships or the leaving of one or talking to someone else, etc., is that the conversation of cost. I think that it would do every person that ever wants to date, anything like that, marry or whatever, is to have the conversation of saying, listen, if you're the guy, you're going to the woman and saying, hey, listen, what is it going to cost me? I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about just overall cost and everything. What is it going to cost me for the rest of my life to please you in a way where you never have to look anywhere besides me?
Okay. I love the question of cost.
Cost.
Because cost analysis is everything in a relationship. And when we bypass that cost, when we bypass the conversation of cost, then we basically aren't willing to, we don't even know what we're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the thing, the other question while we're talking about cost, what is my secret costing me?
Yeah.
What is this secret relationship costing me? Right?
Right.
They're both going to cost you. So the question is this secret relationship that's going to eventually cost me my marriage worth more than the effort I'm willing to put in to have a good, thriving relationship?
Absolutely.
And usually it's that all I have to do is put in the effort and fix this thing.
Yeah.
And that's less work than actually what this.
The hard part about cost when you're with someone already is the cost of not forgetting, but loving despite of knowing and remembering.
Right.
See, that's the thing. When you are with somebody and you're in that marriage, in that relationship, the new person, it's easier. It's easier because the baggage ain't there. But then when you look at the cost of the new thing, it's not the baggage, so it's lighter, but the cost is the unknown.
Right.
But the cost of the known thing is the baggage because there are things known. So it becomes, am I willing to do and lift and do the work of the known hurt, the known pain, the known trials, and say, hey, I know you chose this over me. You chose this over me. You chose this over me, but I chose this over you. I chose this over you. So can we come back to the table and say, listen, neither of us were willing to pay the cost associated with us being fulfilled. So can we come back, ring up it again and say, this is the cost, and we're committed going forward to paying the price in order to fulfill you in every area at the highest level. When I think about my marriage, I think of it in this regard. It's my responsibility to love her in a way in which if I ever died, it wouldn't be an issue of remarriage. It would be an issue of, is it even worth exploring? Because what I was with was so great, the memory alone can fulfill me until I die. We out there right now.
We will all want to leave that type of mark.
That's what I'm saying, but that should be the goal.
Yeah, we should
not
leave
that she can't remarry.
Right.
You leave a mark so deep that she questions, do I even want to put a memory behind that?
Right. Or can I?
That's how you know you in the bag, right. Not just talking,
right,
but living this mug down. And the hardest part is not forgetting is a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hardest part is loving knowing the truth. That was a bar.
No. I'm going to let that air out.
We got to let that one air out for a second. That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
But that's the true love element of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes love real.
Yeah.
Right? Anything less than that isn't love.
Yeah.
I mean, but then people have to understand what love is, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I leave love as a simple verb because that's what it is, right?
Literally, it's action.
It's an action.
Yeah.
I said, people tell you they love you all the time. If it's no action, so what are we really saying?
Right. Literally.
I tell people all the time, if they love you,
yeah,
you're gonna see action behind it.
This is the key. If you're really loving somebody, they never have to ask the question.
Never have to ask the question.
See, that's the part. And in this sense of men and women, I don't think we've graduated to the point of saying, I'm gonna love you so well. You never have to question my love.
Right.
Because you are living with it in real time.
Right.
So that you don't question if there's gas in your car if you just filled it up.
Right.
So the woman shouldn't have to say, hey, do you love me? Because you stay on full.
Right.
And I think that many times we think because we filled it up one time, that tank is supposed to last forever. I already filled you up one time. But I lived on that.
Right.
Right? I think it's a daily filling up, a daily pouring. It's a daily decision, actively loving, desiring, pursuing, running down, and fulfilling the person that we say we want to spend the rest of our life with. But we got to wrap it up, everybody. We went over about 15 minutes. Yeah. But I want to thank all of our audience. Please, please, please like, comment. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is very, very important. We want to continue to build that. And we know that as we continue to build the platform, so much great information helping men and women to go to the next level. Please follow us on Instagram at Kenyon Encourage. Please follow our YouTube channel at MyConvo360. Please follow our Facebook page at MyConvo360. And also, please follow Eric Douglas. My bad, bro. He don't like me using his last name. My bad.
You all good.
Right.
You good.
You can follow Eric at
We
Do Work _fitness. And last but not least, please follow my brother Leon Martin at lion.eye. Again, it's so important. Please, please, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to build the show. We want to be able to go live on there. So we need those subscribers to continue to go up. And so thank you so much for your time. This is Kenyon Healy, your host of My Convo 360 with Eric and Leon. We're signing off. Take care and good night.
Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam, I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect him. I made the call up, but just like I'm reffing. I know we left, yeah, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife gonna have some kids. Right now we just practicing. Teacher said quit rapping, man. That gon' hurt my average. I said thank God I ain't average. Yeah, I'm a bright young man. Kill the GPA and the BPM. Look, we on. So say what you say, cause that's A with Lecrae. From the A train to the A, I'm coming in hot. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in. Coming in. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey.
Yeah.
I'm coming in.
Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. I kept it too real. I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline. Your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag. Your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot, feeling like Pac. Back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave. Ditch my top and I'm off that lot. Black on black on black on black on black on black on black. You don't have to ball a rap to get them racks on racks. Uber poolers trying to catch my vibe and find my way. Yeah, I know I'm ratchet, but I'm really safe. Hot sauce dripping. Everybody wanna start dipping. First nobody wanna listen. Now everybody pay attention. Now everybody pay fees. Even Trump gotta take a knee. When the horn blow, y'all gon' see. Make the wall fall down like yee. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot the shot. I'm coming in hot.
Coming in hot, coming in hot. Shoot that shot, shoot that shot. Shoot, why not? Hey, why not? Ain't no big, ain't no big. Feel like Pac, feel like Pac. We can't lose, we can't stop, we can't stop. Yeah, coming in hot, coming in hot, coming in hot. Shoot that shot. I'ma make it toast, why not? We still alive. Hey, why not? No big, watch out. I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow. Just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect him. I made the call up, but just like I'm reffing. I know we left, yeah, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife gonna have some kids. Right now we just practicing. Teacher said quit rapping, man. That gon' hurt my average. I said thank God I ain't average. Yeah, I'm a bright young man. Kill the GPA and the BPM. Look, we on. So say what you say, cause that's A with Lecrae. From the A train to the A, I'm coming in hot. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey.
Yeah.
I'm coming in.
Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up.